Let's start the story. So, at the beginning of the story, we see the scene of Jallianwala Bagh, where thousands of people had gathered to protest. At that moment, a boy notices that an aeroplane is flying above them, and shortly after, General Dyer arrives with his troops. Before anyone could do anything, General Dyer orders the soldiers to shoot, and a massacre begins in which thousands of people lose their lives. And seeing all this, General Dyer was smiling. After this, the scene shifts to some time earlier where we are told that when the First World War happened in 1914, the English soldiers began to eat, and they promised the Indians that if you help us win this war, we will leave Hindustan. But when the English won the World War because of the Indians, they betrayed the Indians and instead started committing crimes against them. When Kripal Singh, a protester who was also a professor at the college, raised his voice saying that the British had gone back on their word, then the British thought of framing Kripal Singh instead, thinking why not have him imprisoned so that everyone would remain silent. At that time, the governor of Punjab, Michael, and Dyer meet their advisor, Tirat Singh, who was an Indian, and ask how they can get Pal Singh imprisoned. Then Tirat Singh says that in my opinion, there is a lawyer named Shankar Nair who hasn't taken a single case so far, and he will easily get Kripal Singh imprisoned. After which Tirat Singh goes and hires Mr. Nair on behalf of the British and informs him that Kripal Singh has filed a case against us, but we need to get him imprisoned, to which Nair agrees. After this, we are shown a court scene where the same case was ongoing. Then Nair presents such arguments in front of the judge that everyone is astonished upon hearing them. He states that some time ago, an English soldier was killed in a bomb blast and only Kripal Singh knows how to make bombs, who has also fought in the World War. Here he proves that Kripal Singh made the bomb and gave it to some boys, and then they blew up the English soldier with the bomb. As a result, the judge sentences Kripal Singh to some time in prison. As Kripal Singh is leaving, he tells Nair that you are a good lawyer, but you are fighting for the wrong people, to which Nair does not pay much attention. After this, we see Nair's wife where Michael comes and says, "You have made us win." Therefore, they want to bestow the title of Sir on our Sharab, which makes Nair very happy because everyone will respect him. Now, on the next day, on one hand, Nair was being knighted, while on the same day, General Dyer had caused a massacre in Jallianwala Bagh, and several thousand people lost their lives. However, we can see that after all the soldiers had left, there was only a young boy who was just crying after seeing so many corpses. Now, after committing this act, Michael calls General Dyer to meet him alone and starts scolding him, saying, "What have you done? If this matter gets out, all of India will turn against us, and no one will be able to save us." After which Michael tells Tyr to go and suppress the news of Jallianwala Bagh, and Tyr sends many soldiers to burn every newspapers that had the news of Jallianwala Bagh, meaning this matter will never come out now. After this, Tyr comes and tells Dyer that after the incident you caused, there is not enough space in the crematorium to burn the bodies. What to do now? To which Dyer says, "Throw the remaining bodies into the drains. No evidence should remain." Seeing this, Tyr was also surprised that he had no remorse at all. After this, when the families of the deceased try to raise their voices against the British and bring the truth to light, the British government starts giving them 50 rupees as compensation to silence them and takes their thumb impression stating that we have no complaints against the British. Although some people were still raising their voices against the British, seeing this, Tyr tells Michael that to silence these people, we should set up a commission whose all members would rule in our favor. People will just think that these people are supporting the truth, which will suppress the matter. At that time, a vice commission was formed and Nair was also included in it because Nair was also supporting the British. Now we see Nair, who, when he comes to the commission meeting, sees the boy at the gate who had survived Jallianwala Bagh and was holding a poster showing how the British had committed the massacre. After this, Nair meets with the commission. So everyone says that General Dyer ordered the shooting at those people because they were armed, to which Nair questions how many British were actually shot if the people were armed. There was no answer to this question from the people there. Seeing this, Nair realizes that the English government is the one causing trouble and trying to suppress the truth, but he doesn't say anything about it. Then he comes straight from Tirat and meets him, asking why they are hiding the truth. There, he gets scared, and from Dyer's actions, Nair understands how much this person hates Indians. There, he also meets a man named Jan, who was a soldier before and now cannot walk properly because of Dyer, meaning it was clear that Dyer was a very dangerous man. Then, while leaving from there, Nair sees the same boy standing with the poster. Upon asking the nearby soldier, it was found that the boy's family was killed that day. Since then, the boy has only wanted justice, which makes Nair feel very bad. That night, Nair couldn't sleep and kept thinking about the boy. The next day, he went straight to meet the boy. Here, Nair explains to him that, son, you should leave the movement and go to school to study. I have my own school. If you say so, I can get you admitted. But the boy says that my mother, and sister all went to participate in the movement. But the British killed all my family members without warning. So what will I do by studying? These British will not free the country anyway. And he also shows his posters to Mark, depicting how the British killed our people. And seeing this, Nair is also taken aback. Now at night, all the commission people are partying, but Nair was not in the mood at all. Then when he goes to the washroom, he is not allowed to enter, and he feels very bad seeing the board that read Dogs Indian Nala. But he couldn't do anything about it. Now, the next day was the time for the commission's decision, where all the English consider Dyer to be not guilty, believing he did nothing wrong, while Nair declares Dyer guilty. However, since there are more votes for not guilty for Dyer, the action against him is removed, and seeing this, Nair becomes very angry. At that moment, Dheeraj says to him, don't mess with the English, otherwise you get into trouble, which makes Nair fall silent. The next day, Nair receives some news, and when he goes to the boy's house, he finds out that the boy has slit his wrist and taken his own life. Seeing this, Nair's heart breaks, and the girl standing there, Dilpreet, notices him. Then when Nair was leaving this city to go to his own city, Dilpreet came to him and said that you were my inspiration and I wanted to become a lawyer like you. And you also bowed down to the English authority. In this way, Dilpreet scolds Nair a lot. Then Nair says that I cannot do anything against these British, so it is best to let things continue as they are. Post 1200. Then he goes and sits in the train with his wife. After this, we are shown a scene 2 days later where Dilpreet files a case against Dyer in court. And when Michael finds out about this, he becomes quite anxious. In such a situation, all Indians will find out about this and they will rise in rebellion. Therefore, Michael tells Tyr that we must somehow finish the case in the first ring itself. And the problem was Judge Gray, who had a connection with Indians. So we cannot commit any fraud in front of him and must win the case in the right way. Now we are directly shown the court scene where Dyer thought that Dilpreet is a small-time lawyer who won't be able to stand against my lawyer. But in front of the judge, Dilpreet suddenly announces that Mr. Nair will fight the case in her place, which leaves everyone shocked. Then we are shown a flashback scene, where Nair had decided on the train that he must get Dyer punished. So he goes straight to Jallianwala Bagh and tells Dilpreet that now we will together overthrow the British rule and you will file the case against Dyer because if my name comes up, they will not let us gather evidence properly. After which Dilpreet does it and then both of them together gather evidence against Dyer and the British rule. Now the scene comes to the present and says to Nair, Dyer had told everyone that on the day of the curfew on 13th April, people were rioting in Jallianwala Bagh, so they had to fire bullets. But if people were really rioting, why did the police let them go peacefully? Kata Singh, the tehsildar of the mother, is called to the stand, and Kata Singh tells the judge that he saw those people rioting, so he did not have the courage to say anything to them. But he had asked General Dyer to take action against them. Nair asks Kata that if you need help from one police station, the process is quite lengthy, isn't it? And General Dyer is an army officer, so how did you directly ask for help? In fact, you should have asked for help from another police station, which leaves Kata speechless because he had no answer to this. And here Nair proves one more thing, that it was all Dyer's conspiracy. In fact, it was not Dyer who caused the small explosion. 1. A great poet is visiting Jallianwala Bagh, causing thousands to gather, and the movement was ongoing. Then they also sent an aeroplane there to estimate how large the crowd had gathered so that they could carry out the massacre comfortably. Here, after hearing all this, the opposing lawyer is also unable to say anything, and Nair proves that Dyer did all this intentionally, which leads the judge to initiate an inquiry against Dyer, and the case begins. At the same time, articles on Jallianwala Bagh were appearing in every bar, which no one could stop now. Then Michael comes and starts narrating to Dyer in terrors. If this matter reaches the ground, it will become a big problem, so we must win this case. Then Tirith says that in my view, there is one man who is Nair's enemy and also quite a good lawyer. He can be of use to us. His name is McKenna. Now Tirith goes and meets McKenna and starts inciting him against Nair. Actually, McKinley was Indian, but he was seen as a British by a Britisher. Here, Tirith somehow convinces McKinley to fight the case on behalf of the British, and they will honor him with an English title, to which McKinley agrees. Now we directly show the court scene where first of all, Macmillan requests the court to remove the press so that no information goes outside. But Nair wanted every detail to be known to the Indians. However, the judge listens to McKean and orders the media to leave. Then McLean says that there was a reason behind what Dyer did on the 13th. On the 10th, a man from the Dander Forge did something to an English girl named Martha, which forced Dyer to take that step on the 13th. Then he calls Martha to the witness stand, and Martha states that on the 10th, I was finishing my work at college and was on my way home. At that moment, a boy came, forcibly took me to a room, and raped me there. Then Michaeli says that the rapist was none other than the leader of the Dander Forge, Tanveer Chaudhary, and when he confessed his crime and was punished, the Dander Forge got enraged, after which they made a dangerous plan on the 13th to take revenge on the British, which is why Dyer had to attack all those people at that time, which shocks everyone when they hear it. And here Michael had told everyone a false story. Judge Nair gives the next date. Meanwhile, Melee Tirith says that we need to spread a rumor that Nair is advocating for rapists. Then Tirith does exactly that, and Nair's name starts getting defamed everywhere. Even people go so far as to smear Nair's face with black, which completely breaks him. But he still hadn't lost courage. After this, Bill goes to the college where the assault on Martha took place, and he goes to see Tanveer Chaudhary's honor. Then, after a little investigation, Tin gets hold of some things. Now the day of the hearing comes, and today Dil questions Martha. She asks him why he didn't scream when Tanveer forced himself on him, to which Martha says that she was scared. But Dalit provokes Martha with her words, and it is proven here that Tanveer did not force anything. Rather, he and Martha often met alone in that room as they were both lovers. Then Martha, crying, reveals the truth that she was in love with Tanveer, and once the principal caught her with Tanveer, after which Tanveer was sent to jail. Because he was an Indian, and I was pressured to accuse him of rape. Otherwise, my reputation will be greatly tarnished. Hearing this, everyone was astonished, and Michael's plan backfired, although Michael was somehow trying to prove Dyer guilty. Then the wild hearing gives a date saying, Mr. Nair, you bring one medicine. Only then can we take action against Dyer. Now Nair is sitting quite worried at night about where he will find a witness. At that moment, he remembers Janissar and asks him everything about what Dyer did to him. Janissar then tells him that another officer can help us. The person who was with Dyer, who did not want Dyer to accuse any person of murder, could not stop Dyer. Now the day of the next hearing arrives and Nair calls Dyer to the witness stand. Nair asked how you gave the first warning to the people standing in Jallianwala Bagh, to which Dyer said that he did not give any warning. Those people were about to attack us, so I had to take action. But Nair says that there were even 8-year-old children. How could they attack? After this, Nair tells the judge Janissar's story, that Janissar is an Indian who was just 15 minutes late once, and Dyer hit him with his iron shoes, which is why he still cannot walk properly. After this, Nair produces Dyer's medical report which stated that Dyer's anger could escalate at any time. In fact, this report was not given with Dyer. Nair states that Dyer hated Indians since childhood, and when he gained power, he began to crush Indians, and the Jallianwala Bagh massacre was also a result of his hatred. Upon hearing which, Dyer grabs Nair by the collar, and the judge adjourns today's hearing. Then at night, Michael Nedger and Tirat say that we cannot stop Nair like this anymore. We have to trap him somehow. After which we see that the police raid Nair's house because he was accused of trying to access some private places in connection with the keys. Then the next day, the case hearing also arrives, and the police had kept Nair with them under false charges. Then here, the judge asks the committee to announce their decision, as the verdict for this case was to be given today. The decision of the panel is that whatever Dyer did was for protection at that time. So in Nair's absence, they acquit Dyer, and the case ends here. Then when Nair learns about this, his heart breaks because even after winning, he lost, and he returns to his home from here. I, Dilpreet, also tell my family that I want to get married because I did not want to continue with law. After a few days pass like this, one day a letter from Cripple Singh arrives for Nair, which states that the person whose case you started fighting was my son. And to tell the truth, my son would not have committed suicide. Surely the English soldiers must have killed him, which leaves Nair in shock. The next day, Nair goes straight to Dilpreet and says that now we will file a bill in the High Court, and their application is soon dismissed by Judge Space, which makes Nair very angry, and he abuses the judge. Then the judge orders an inquiry against him. Now I will end your law practice forever. A few days later, we see a judge's jury where an inquiry was set up against Nair, and many media personnel were present. Then the judge says, apologize here and leave quietly. You will never be able to practice law again. Then Nair stands up in front of everyone and apologizes, saying that he could not bring the truth to light. Nair further says that I also want to talk about Jallianwala Bagh, and it's about 70 bar. I can prove that the charges against me are false. After which Nair calls the jury member who had declared Dyer guilty in. But by then Dyer had bought. So he acquitted Dyer, and the media present, they were writing this. Even if this court does nothing to Dyer, I want every Indian to know the dark truth about Dyer. The next day, several articles are published in the media against Dyer, and a movement against Dyer quickly begins. Due to this, Dyer is dismissed from his job, and then 6 years later, Dyer dies due to illness. After this, Sardar Udham Singh goes and 20 years later puts that Michael and Dyer to death. And with this revelation, the movie ends.